Middlesex missed the chance to close the gap on the front runners of Group C of the YB40 as they lost by 17 runs on the Duckworth-Lewis method at Headingley Carnegie. Put in by Yorkshire, Middlesex, who began this match 4 points behind leaders Somerset but with 2 games in hand, got off to a real flyer through Paul Stirling and Dawid Malan. Stirling drove the first ball for 4 before taking on the 15-year-old Matthew Fisher. In just his second game, his first over with a new ball was stumped for 18 runs by the Irishman, who ended it by carving the ball over the cover boundary for a 6. Fisher later recovered well from that, as did his team, who saw the back of the dangerous Stirling in the 5th over, as, having raced to 32 off 20 balls, he was expertly yorked by Wardlaw. And that suddenly set the Panthers back. They'd rushed to 42 without loss off the first 27 balls, but then lost 4 wickets for 23 in the next 25. Joe Denley was also bowled by Wardlaw via the inside edge. Sam Robson, in a rare one-day showing, went in a similar way, this time off the bowling of the 17-year-old Ryan Gibson. And then Malan edged a little waft outside his off-stump to give the impressive Wardlaw his 3rd wicket. 4 down with 65 runs on the board before the 9th over was completed meant a rebuilding job for the visitors, and that was left to captain Neil Dexter and Adam Rossington. At least they were able to add 40 for the 5th wicket in the next 9 overs. But just as he was starting to go well, Dexter tried to give himself room to Rich Pyra, but got a leading edge which sent the ball to Adil Rashid at mid-off. Losing the wickets meant that Middlesex were unable to go hell for leather against this partly inexperienced Yorkshire attack. Rossington and Gareth Berg tried when they could to turn decent balls into 4s, and they were just starting to put their side back into a good position when both men were out in their 40s. On 42, Rossington chipped a ball from Adam Lyth back to the bowler, and 3 overs later, Berg on 43 was bowled by Pyra to leave with his side on 178 for 7 with 8.5 overs remaining. The lack of remaining batsmen again slowed the Panthers down. Boundaries were often hard to come by as both Toby Rowland-Jones and Ollie Rayner had to make the most out of anything they were offered. In 7 overs they put on 36 runs to at least help their side set a challenging total. Rowland-Jones was yorked before the end by Pyra as Middlesex closed on 217 for 8. There was the prospect of rain on its way, so the first job for the Vikings openers Lyth and Andrew Gale was to keep up with the rate, whilst also keeping their wickets intact just in case Duckworth-Lewis came into play later on. Neither batsman had to take too many risks, as they managed both of those tasks rather easily, against a Panthers attack which certainly wouldn't have given up hope just yet. Lyth pulled Rowland-Jones over the ropes for a maximum to keep his side well ahead. Indeed, that was the last boundary before the rains duly arrived 9 overs later. 1s and 2s from the 8th over onwards was all that Yorkshire required. When the game was eventually called off in the 18th, they'd made 81 without loss, which put them 16 runs ahead of the Duckworth-Lewis par score. That's how we end up with a result of a 17-run win for the home side, just their 2nd of the competition. Middlesex must now do better against those sides still above them in the Group C table.